And welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary, and in today's video I'll be showing you how I made this little unicorn that took a bite out of the side of a cake. Now I ran across this on Pinterest. It was an actual cake, and I decided to see if I could try it with clay. So this is what I got, and someone wanted me to do a tutorial, so here you go. So for the cake part, I used pink clay, and I'm just going to go ahead and condition it. Pour a little off and roll it into a little ball. And then I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it out a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. And then I am going to take my cookie cutter and a little bit of flour or baby powder or whatever you have. I just happen to have flour here from another project, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go ahead and just line the outing of it, and I'm going to go ahead and push this down up in here. Got to use a little bit of force because the clay is thick, so therefore it's kind of hard to manage a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and pop this out. And I'm just going to even it out a little bit. And this is what we have. And we're going to go ahead. Coco! Sorry, y'all. My dog is in here with me. And yeah. And so next, what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm just going to pull a little bit of this off. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and smash it out just a little bit. It's like this. And we're going to go ahead and push this through again. And then I'm just going to push down and turn. And then I'm going to peel it off. And we're just going to stick that to the side. And we're going to go ahead, pop this one out. And I am going to fix the edges. Just like this. And we have our two. And you can just stack them on top of each other like this. And I'm going to go ahead and see that little space that we have there. I'm going to go ahead and take my finger and I am going to just combine the two. And you want to do this all the way around. It's like this. So this is what I'm doing now. And then I'm just going to go ahead, play around with it to see if I like it, the thickness of it. And the size does not have to be perfect because it's going to be covered. So this is what we have. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white clay and I rolled this out on my pasta machine on a 5 setting. And I'm going to lay it across like this. And we're just going to go ahead and smooth everything down like this. Just make sure that you got it covered. And if you get some little cracks, that's fine. We can go over those. And so basically what we're doing, we're just, if you was making a real cake and you was covering it in fondant or whatever, however it's pronounced, this is how you would want to do it. And like I said, don't worry about if you get little splits. It's fine. And I am going to take my little blade, and it's flexible, and I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to go around the edges like this. and I am going to cut. Okay, like that. And I'll clean my edges up like I always do. So move that to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and just go in again with my finger and clean up the edges. Yeah, I ran across that and I was like, well, how cute is that? And then I was like, huh. I like to bake, but I was like, I wonder if I can do that with clay instead of, actually going in the kitchen and baking, which I'm still planning on baking me one, but it's just not something I want to do right yet. I want to, do it just a second. So basically, I'm just kind of rolling it around a little bit. And this is what we have. And it does not have to be perfect. And now I'm just going to take my blade and I'm going to go around it just like so. And you don't have to work on wax paper. I just prefer working on wax paper. And there we have it. Next, what you want to do is take a needle tool, whatever you have on your hand. If you don't have this, you can use an actual needle. But if you are a child and you are making this project and you're using anything sharp, please get adult supervision before working with anything sharp. And see, I want to see what end I want my cake to be. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, let me see, I'm going to cut a little bit out like I did with my first one. Just going to cut a little bit out. So this is what y'all see me doing. It's just cutting a little. And we're going to go over here and we're going to cut. And then I'm just going to take just a very little out. Just like this. This is what we have so far. Don't look like much yet, but bear with me. I'm going to take a little bit from here. And I'm going to take a little bit from here. And then we're just going to close this just like that. So this is what we have. So next, what we're going to do, I'm going to smooth this out. In the side here, I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm just going to go inside and just scrape. And what I mean by that, this is what I'm going to do. Just going to go in here and I'm just going to make little indents in here just like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. This video may be a little longer than any of my other videos, but this is a long process. If you want it to look right, you can't rush through it, especially the part where the cake on the inside of the cake, you want to take your time with that part. This is why I really wasn't considering doing this video, because it's time consuming. And there we go. I'm just basically taking my needle tool and I'm just scraping up the inside of the cake. And I'm just going to continue to do so. I know this is this part is kind of boring, but it's like necessary in here. You kind of need to. And this is what the inside is going to look like. And I'm just cleaning up my edges. I seen some pink caught up in my other part, so I had to go ahead and get that taken care of. And this is what you're going to end up with. And now I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and shape my cake back on the bottom. It's like this. And we got this. So next, what I'm going to do is the unicorn. So we're going to move all of this stuff out of the way. We're going to I'm going to need to keep this here for so I can lean my unicorn up against it. And I'm going to go ahead and dig up some more on the inside. There we go. All right. So once again, this is what we have. Now for the unicorn. Okay. So we're going to start off with some clay. And we're going to go ahead and what I'm going to do, because don't want my unicorn to be overly big, and I don't want it to be too small either. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to start off with a ball, and we're going to start off with a tear shape. Just like this. But I think I'm going to add a little more. Sorry about the barking. The dogs hear the mail carrier outside, and that's what they're barking at. Okay. So this is what we have. This is what you're going to have so far. And you're going to just take your finger and just kind of round out the belly. So, just like this. Just going to round it out. This is what we have. And I'm going to just kind of put this just like this, because I want it right up against the head. Okay. So, yeah. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to just lay this just like this. It's going to be just like this. And then we're just going to build around that. Like this. So we're just going to stick that there. And next we're going to do the legs. Everything starts off with the ball. And what we're doing now is, like I said, we're just going to go ahead and do her legs just to see about how big or how small we need to make the legs. And you want to make sure that they're the same size. That looks fine. And we're just going to roll just like this. And we're just going to push in like this. And we're going to bend this. And so you should end up with something like this. And that's going to be one of the legs that's going to go like this. I think I'm going to make that a little thinner. Like this. Then we're just going to take our finger and we're just going to push in like this. Push down and pull back. So this is what you should have. And we're just going to stick that here, just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. But we're going to make this one stick out a little longer. So we have it like this again. We're just going to push in. And we're just going to stick this one. We're going to pull out, push, and this one is going to come out just like this. And we're just going to bend it. So this is what we're going to end up with. But I'm not happy with it, so I'm going to pull that off. And I'm going to take a little bit back off like that. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to push it, put it back just like this. Okay, I am happy with that. I'm going to turn this around so y'all can see. This is what we're working with so far. I'm going to turn it back around so I can have it, so I can continue. Okay, next we are going to do the arms. Yep. Okay. Arms done the exact same way that you did the legs. Nothing different. Except they're going to be smaller. It's all. So we have this. Want to make sure they're the same size. And we're just going to roll and push in place. Okay. That's going to go there. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to roll. We're going to push. And this one is going to stick out just like this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to flatten this a little bit because it needs to go right there by the cake. And let me see, I'm going to take a little wooden piece and I'm going to use this to help stick this into place. And this is what we have so far. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the head. So, once again, we're going to make a ball. I'm going to see about how big I want it to look. We're going to take a little bit off. And now what we're going to do is you're going to just slightly roll it just a little bit, like that. And then you're going to take your fingers and you're going to pull out just like this and round it off. So you should have something that looks like this. And I'm just still rounding it out, playing with it a little bit to see how I want everything to look before I just go ahead and glue everything into place. And I think I'm going to pull this off a little bit and have this down like this. And then, let's see. And this is what we have so far. So, I'm just going to take this off because I need to do some more, some minor fixing on it because it's still a little bigger than what I wanted. So once again, I'm rolling it. And you will see that when you start working with clay and or fondant, whatever you work with, sometimes you just know when you need to add or take away from the clay. If it's like too big or too small, you know when you need to add some, if that makes sense. I've been doing this for working with clay for years, so I kind of know when I need to add and when I need to take away. So let me see here. See how I like this. But I'm just messing around with it, see how everything gonna look before I stick everything into place. This looks pretty good to me. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to put a slit in the mouth, just like this. And I'm just going to pull down a little bit right here. So you should have an opening like that. And I am just going to play around with this just a little bit. And I am going to put a tongue in there. So, yeah. So I'm just taking pink and white clay and making a little tongue. That's kind of what I'm doing. to take that out because we don't want the tongue to be extra long. And I am basically just making a triangle shape. But I'm going to pull a little bit more off. So yeah, I'm just basically just making a tongue, which should look like this. And I am just going to go ahead and stick that in the mouth. So we're going to turn it, push this down, and I'm going to just stick that right in there like that. That's what you should have. And now for the nose, I'm going to go ahead and take my little needle tool, and I'm just going to stick 2 little holes in here. So you should have this. And we're just going to go ahead and put this down. I'm going to stick this on here just like this. And I'm going to use a little bit of my translucent Sculpey. It's like a glue. And it's just going to help hold everything into place. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the sides, and as this bake, it's going to bond together. And I'm just going to put a little bit like this. We're going to stick that out of the way because we don't need it no more. And this is what we have so far. So next, what I'm going to do is we're going to just put his or her arm back on her chest like that. And next we're going to do the horn. So I am just taking 2 pieces of clay, 2 balls like this, and we're just going to roll them in a long shape. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to roll this one a little more, and we're going to take the 2, put them together, and then twist just like this. Make it point on the end. So like that. And I'm just going to cut a little bit of it off. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to push. And then we're just going to set this right on top of the head. Right where we want it to be. Okay, that obviously I was not happy with that, so we're going to do this part again because I was not a happy camper. So I'm going to try this again. I'm just going to take 2 pieces. We're going to roll them out just like this, and we're going to twist the 2 to a point. And then you should have something like that. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And we're going to go ahead and bring the cake back, or our unicorn back, and we're going to stick that right on top of her head. And as you can see with the eyes, I drew that on with the Sharpie marker after I baked it. So we're not going to do that right now. Next, I am going to do different color hair, which is basically different color balls of clay. You can use any color you want to, but this is what I'm going to use. So as we're going to do the hair, or the mane, so I'm going to start off with some green. And like I said, you can use whatever colors you want. Doesn't matter. I'm using green, blue, purple, a couple different types of purple, pink, a couple different types of colors of pink, and so forth. And you'll get the idea in a minute. And I'm just kind of randomly rolling out different lengths and such. So, and the tail, just so y'all know, is going to be the most fragile part of this project. It's prone, it's just going to be the most fragile part. So if you make one, just be very careful that you don't break it, because that do happen sometimes. All right. And this is what we have. This is the color that I went with. And I'm just going to smash it down a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to stick that right under the butt. Just like this. So there you have it. But I think I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. There we go. I like that better. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the hair. Well, yeah. So, and then I'm just going to kind of play around with it to see how I want everything to look. And right here, just going to go ahead and continue. And again, this part here too can be time consuming, but if you want it done right, you want to take your time with it. You don't want to rush through it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to make the video extra long, but all at the same time, I'm trying to take my time with it and not rush through it. Because when you take your time and do it, it looks so much better. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to just continue. And then we'll go with the next part. That's too thick. So let's roll this a little more. So I'm basically just kind of, let me turn it around so y'all can see what's going on here with it. And I have to turn it back my way so I can see what's going on. That way I'll know what it looked like when it's facing me. And I will put hair in the back. And I most likely probably do that off camera. That way this don't take up too much. This video don't be too extra long. I know some people don't like watching really long videos. That's why I try to cater to not having them super long, but I got a feeling that this video is probably going to be longer than I actually want it to be, and I'm going to apologize for that. But once again, I didn't want to rush it. I mean, I wanted to take my time. That way y'all can see how it's done. I didn't want to rush through it. Hope y'all understand. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the back. Just going to stick here, back here, just like that. Different pieces. And I'm just going to turn it around now so I can see the back and y'all can see the front. So we can see what we got going on here. And my cake came off. There we go. And this is what it's going to look like. This is what we have so far. There we go. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish her up. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our needle tool and we're just going to give this a little belly button. Just like that. And now we need to, for the cake, now I'm not going to do all the flowers like I did on here, but I'll do a couple and show y'all how I did it. So basically I just took, and I'm just going to move this here, I just took some pink clay. We're going to do pink and blue and purple. It's like we did with the other one. So basically all I done was I took my needle tool and I basically just scraped. Like this. And I just basically just stuck it right down on top. And I'll do one more. I do another one with the blue. Just going to take and scrape. Just like this. Just going to add a little more to that. Like this. And we're just going to stick it right here, just like that. And you want to do that all the way around the entire cake. But like I said, I'm not going to go all the way around the cake because then this video is going to be way longer than it needs to be. But yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stick on a couple more. So just going to stick on a couple pieces. We're just going to do it. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just going to continue to just put little pieces of clay in random places. Just like this. I'm going to grab some pink. And like I said, y'all do not have to use these colors. This is just what I had available that was here without me having to randomly dig through different clay because I got way too much to be trying to pick from. So I just went with some colors that was already available. But this is what I did. So I just went around and I'll do another one. I'm going to go back to the pink. So I just basically scraped. Like this.